Hey there, entrepreneurs. My name is Sushant, and welcome to TrepTalks. This is the show where I interview successful e-commerce entrepreneurs, business executives, and thought leaders, and ask them questions about their business story, and also dive deep into some of the strategies and tactics that they have used to start and grow their businesses. And today, I'm really excited to welcome Young and Josh Kim to the show. Young and Josh run a fashion and lifestyle brand e-commerce business called Ellison plus Young, and they sell fashion and lifestyle products. And today I'm going to ask Young and Josh a few questions about their entrepreneurial journey and some of the strategies and tactics that they have used to start and grow their businesses. Now, before we dive into this interview, if you enjoy this content, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And for more content like this, please visit our website, treptalks.com. And with that, Young and Kim, welcome. And thank you so much for joining me today at Trip Talks. Really, really appreciate your time.
Hi, thank you for having us today. I'm excited.
Likewise. So yeah, really excited to hear about your entrepreneurial story. So I know you were sharing a little bit that you had a boutique brand before, but now you're focusing mostly on e-commerce business. So maybe we can start there. How did you, have you always been entrepreneurs? How did you kind of get into the entrepreneur journey? And what kind of really led to this business, Ellison plus Young?
Okay, so I've been living as an entrepreneur more than 20 years so far. So so let's say it's just entire my career as an entrepreneur. And so I'm definitely an entrepreneur. So 20 years ago, I came here, I married Josh, and then I came here from South Korea. So I tried to get a job at first, but then it was hard. My degree was from Korea, and my English wasn't as good. So I had a hard time finding a job for myself. So I was like one day sitting and like, okay, let me just create a job for myself. So I started a small, like a little business. And then that's how it started. And then there was just having little small cart at the mall. And I was selling some jewelry and some hair accessories because, I just always loved the fashion. And like jewelry and accessories were always my favorite things since I was a little, like for example, I was like, little girl, 5 or 6 years old. My grandma asked me, where do you want to go? My answer was always like, okay, grandma, I want to go to that accessory store. I want to get a little plastic necklace or like some headbands or something. It wasn't the playground. So there was always natural, thing for myself to just, get into some things that I love. So it was always, passion.
That's awesome. I mean, and I must say, you said that you came to United States 20 years ago. I mean, obviously now your English is quite fluent, and so you got started because you were interested in fashion and jewelry. And how did your husband, like your husband, really just started helping you, or how did he get
Right.
involved?
Josh, you want to talk about that?
I was on the side for many years actually because I was working at the corporate America mostly. I've been working for like some big companies as a financial analyst and project manager before I joined here full time. But while she was running the business, I was on like helping on the side, such as like accounting and other business sides. So it was mostly her managing the stores and until I become like 41 about 11 years ago. And then I finally decided I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to join in her business and we're going to go together about 11 years ago.
Now that's such an interesting story, an immigrant coming to a new country and trying to start a life, have some sort of a job, not finding the job, and then, trying to start a business. I think it's great that you kind of chose something that you're passionate about. But initially, like, did you have some sort of investment? How did you kind of get your first product? Did you, put your own money into the business?
So for Ellison Young brand, I would say it was like during the COVID time, as I mentioned earlier, I just decided to close down, my brick and mortar boutique stores. Most of them, only just couple I left. I had just running. But during that time, just to start like Ellison Young brand, I just only had like a couple of small like jewelry collections, like some initial necklaces and zodiacs and things like that. And then I just, started shipping from my garage actually. And then my dining table was my work desk. So it wasn't like that much of investment money-wise, but I maximized my experiences, my business experiences, and then also my networking, like, good friends of like mine. They were like, the really the good sales reps in the regions. So they helped me a little bit. So I would say my investment was pretty much, my experiences and also my networking for Ellison Young brand.
Yeah, but for Ellison Young brand, it was the kind of continuation from our brick and mortar stores. At that time, we had 4 stores, so it was kind of evolving from that. But if you are interested, like our first investment for the first business, it was a credit card.
Okay.
Yeah, $5,000 credit card limit that we started because for the inventory. So, I mean, we were kind of thinking like, of course, the investment is a big issue when you start the business because nobody has money to start the business.
Yeah.
So we were kind of doing our risk analysis ourselves. It's like how much we could manage because I was working in the company at the time, so I had stable jobs. There was something that we were trying to manage to balance our risk of running the business. So while she was running this business, while she was taking a risk, I was keeping my stable job. So $5,000 was okay to take in at the time, take a risk. So $5,000 credit card was our first investment to start the business, and from 5,000 to now in about 22, 23 years later.
Awesome. And I think that's a good advice for anybody who's kind of starting out, right? If you have a job or, somebody, if you, I mean, in your case, of course, the spouse, husband had the job,
Right.
at least having some sort of a stable background. And because some people tend to like, they have an idea and they're like, okay, I'm going to quit my job now and go to 100%. Maybe not such a great idea because then, I think you have to think about, how you're going to pay your, grocery and regular bills and so forth. So I think you definitely need to have some sort of a stable background.
I think it's also a matter of the age factors too. If you're a very young person, just out of college, what are you going to do? But if you want to start a business at 40, that's a different story. So I think at each age, I mean, there is a different risk we can take. So I think it's totally up to each individual. But if you're young, I mean, as long as you have time to recover, and then if the amount is something that you can take a chance. I mean, if you're gonna go to like the Las Vegas and spend $5,000, that's amount that you can take a risk anytime for any business. So I think you can kind of look at it that way.
For sure. I think the best time is like when you're young, and then at least you probably have your parents to fall back on.
Yeah.
But I do see, I'm on your website right now. I see you have a lot of inventory, a lot of different products.
Right.
So can you share a little bit about what exactly? How do you see your business? Is it really your how do you define the value proposition of your business?
I mean, can you elaborate the question just one more time?
Like, how do you, like, when you tell somebody about, your business, how do you describe it? Like, is this a jewelry business? Is this a lifestyle business? Like, what exactly are you selling?
We are trying to become a lifestyle brand, but we started from jewelry side because jewelry was, when you are running the business of the ladies boutiques. We had as many as like up to 10 stores one time not only in Atlanta, Georgia. I used to drive to like Jacksonville, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina, Knoxville, Tennessee, Greenville, South Carolina, all the times when we had like running that many stores. So we had like the opportunity of picking the items that we would like to source ourselves. So we wanted to go from just retailers, not only retailers, but when you start a wholesale brand or import business. So we had to pick the items, and then jewelry was our favorite because of many different regions. So we were at first, you gotta start small, right? So you gotta be selective. So when you are evaluating ourselves, we thought that jewelry was our strength at the time. So we started from the jewelry side. And then, of course, and when you start from jewelry side, you got, we started just like 2 necklaces in the beginning. That was our first 2 products. We're still selling well, even after like 3 years. They're still the best sellers. So starting from small items, but from there, we were trying to expand it. So we kept adding the more jewelry to there, and then later we added the hair accessories because our first cart business was hair accessories as well. So we had a good network, and then we knew pretty much well about those products. So from there to the hair accessories, and we just keep adding the new items, and we were once in a while, we got since we running the business in retail for like 20 years, we were very sensitive about the trend. So we were trying to pick up some items which was trendy at the time, which is also lifestyle. So during the COVID time, one thing we learned was people were having different lifestyles. Since then, I think people have adapted to like different lifestyles of remote working, having more pets. So one time we tried like a pet toy products and many different items here and there. So eventually jewelry is part of fashion, but fashion is also life. When you're looking at it, so we want to have like some kind of like philosophy over there. So eventually we want to get to the lifestyle brand, but when you talk about lifestyle brand, what is it, right? So we have to define ourselves from here to there. So we are continuously adding more items, and we are continuously building items, but our core business jewelry and other fashion items like hair accessories and bags and others. We are continuously moving forward with more life and then other options as well.
Awesome. And I mean, one challenge of having like starting a jewelry business, like if I, for example, today I'd say, okay, I want to start a jewelry business, right? I would like, if I go to do a market research, I'll see like there's no shortage of jewelry out there, right? All kinds of jewelry.
Right.
Jewelry that is like gold plated, jewelry, real gold, all different kinds of designs and shapes and price points. How does, so I would be dissuaded to even start a jewelry business. Like, how does one compete in kind of, I mean, would you call this like an oversaturated market? Like there's jewelry left and right. Like I can go to my local mall and there would be like vendors selling jewelry in the middle of the mall. How do you like kind of compete in this market? How do you separate your business from like everybody else?
Because I have to say this again, since I was running multiple, like almost chain, like, boutique stores for many years. Because when you see just, from the surface, it's like oversaturated, and then it's just like too much, and there is no place for my business. But when you just go a little bit like, deeper inside, you can just make your own territory, literally. And I just, always knew what's missing in the market because I was buying from the wholesalers and then different brands to sell in my store and to my, retail customers. So I always knew, I wish, if that price point comes with like, nice packaging and like, straight to the point kind of on-trend like designs and quality, that would be great. That's always, what I was thinking. So from many years of like retail experience means like, dealing with individual customers every day, right? So I always saw what they were, wishing to have, wishing to buy, and willing to buy those products. So that's my know-how, and then that's how I came up with the brand Ellison Young. And Ellison Young's mission statement is supporting entrepreneurs, because I saw big business trend became since Shopify and a lot of technical tools that makes all this online business easier for young people. They can start their own business, a little bit easier than before. So then, when they start, a lot of big brands, they require high opening minimums and all that kind of stuff. So we just break all those rules in wholesale part. So we didn't set any minimum opening, amount per order. So they can, buy just small quantities from us and then test out, because we just really wanted to help them to provide and develop the designs and then products they can sell. Even though it's so pretty and nice, whatever, selling products are selling, but some products never sell. So I know that there are little details, what sells, what not sell. So I just, decided to help all these young or new entrepreneurs to just step in the business world a little bit easier for them. So I just created this brand, just, using all my know-hows and my just knowledges and just, my experience into this business. And this mission statement for Ellison Young is supporting all those new and young, big or small, anybody who wants to just, try the trendy, just affordable fashion, like lifestyle products.
So your business model, is it mostly wholesaling? You're wholesaling to other smaller businesses? Like, is that kind of the major source of your revenue, or are you direct to consumer, like you get a lot of B2C direct sales as well?
Ellison Young is for both the market. But when I started, it was I was focusing a little bit more on wholesale side as a brand. But brand, I just do wholesale to support the retailers. But at the same time, online, I have my website, to do direct to the customers.
I mean, as of right now, about 98% of business is wholesale. So we are a wholesale company. But however, one thing we are trying to do, as she mentioned, we are trying to help out the entrepreneurs. So one thing was we are one of the first to jump into the dropshipping business as well, because it met our mission statement, and because we believe the things that has been changing so much. So we have running the dropshipping business for the last 2 to 3 years, and that's area that we are seeing the growth at this moment.
So you drop ship for other
yes, other online
business
business or influencers, like them. So
okay, well, very, very interesting. So I'll ask you more about dropshipping in a second, but I'm very curious, like your product range. I believe you said that you are buying this from other wholesalers, or you're sourcing it, or are you actually getting this manufactured? Like, because with jewelry, it's like, as you said, you have to stay up with the trend. So do you create your own designs? Do you work with designers? How do you get your products?
So I always call my manufacturing the products like my portfolio of products. So I come up with my portfolio just from different a few different ways. So sometimes I pick things that some vendors already made products, but a lot of products I start analyzing and researching some trends before the season starts, actually way before. But And then I just, design a lot of items myself, and then I just share that with my vendors, and then I just source them just, from like little maybe elements or something. And then I design all of my packaging, like little, necklace cards and earring cards and, all that kind of stuff. And then sometimes I just change some different the designs from what my vendors already created, so it can be my own designs. So it's a few different ways, but just major part is done by me.
I think it's really depending upon the stage of the growth. When you first start like a few items, it's easy to manage, but when you get to like 1,000 SKUs, 1,000 products, you cannot just rely on just one.
Yeah.
Because growth involved the development of more products and fast development. So we kind of adopted the multiple strategy of using probably all of what you're saying.
Okay. And do you work mostly within like suppliers, manufacturers within the US? Are you going to Asia for that? Or do you have multiple like suppliers from multiple places?
I work with a few in US, and I also work a lot with the China vendors, some factories, and then also just a little bit in Korea, since I'm originally from South Korea. So yeah.
For sure. Makes a lot of sense. One thing that you did mention was around packaging and presentation, right? You said that you have to make it look beautiful, or how do you do that? How important do you think is presentation like in your business?
Because I've been a retailer for many years, so I know how important it is, like to show at the store. But also these days the packaging trend is more sustainable. So I try to be very practical, because I can just add like boxes, bags, whatever, like to the jewelry or the items that I sell. But I try to just stay in reasonable amount of packaging, like cost-wise, and also like the sustainable point of view. So just it looks nice, but I don't go over too much. So I think my customers like just the right amount of presentation, which looks just good, and also is also very the price point is really good for the presentation.
Now, in every business, I've heard, in order for a business to be successful, you have to have at least 30% profit margins. Given that, jewelry is a very highly competitive industry, like, do you feel like you have the profit margins that, that would make it a good business, or is it always like, you're kind of squeezing in for profits?
I think we definitely have enough profit margin for this like jewelry business and all other accessories that I carry, because I just work with really good vendors, first of all, and then my designs are pretty, it can be common, but I always pay attention to details that I can catch. And I think that brings the value higher, in the market. So I don't sacrifice the profit margin that much.
Awesome. Now let's switch gears to wholesaling and drop shipping a little bit, because it's very interesting that your strategy is mostly towards, wholesaling, drop shipping. If a business is, if a business has like some of this commodity kind of a product, how, with your experience, how would you suggest them to navigate getting into wholesaling or drop shipping to become successful, like having that channel as their main channel of business? What lessons have you learned in terms of becoming a successful wholesaler or dropshipper?
I mean, since we've been evolved from the retailers to wholesale, it was the kind of like natural evolvement. So I think we may have a little different story from others who just want to start wholesale. However, I think we enjoy the wholesale very much at this moment, with many different benefits from there. But the thing is like, it's just not just a sales channel, it's like how you want to run the business. I think that's one of the bigger questions than like which channel you're going to do. Of course, you have to understand each channel, but you got to know the reason to be successful. I think there's something that people just forget. It's like, as you got to think about, like, if you're going to get into wholesale, what's your strengths? Why they need to purchase our product? It can be the product, as you said, but it can be just more than products. So just like we are running online business as well. So in any online business, people ask for the rating, right? So in rating, you got to think like why they have to give you good rating. What are you good at? They have to have something to write down for the comments, right? To give you 5-star rating. So these kind of things are more, I believe, is more important. So in our wholesale business or drop business, in wholesale business, I think one thing we were pretty good at in the beginning was we were trying to run this as just like retail business, not like normal traditional wholesale mindset. So we came from the retail. We you took advantage of that mindset of retail because we have to serve each customer, and especially from the brick and mortar, we had to face the customers, we had to hear the complaints and like that. So so when you bring that kind of mindset to like a wholesale business, we were building the business different ways. I mean, in normal wholesale business is like, you take the pre-order first and then you get the product, you ship out one day to like multiple orders. But we're trying to keep the inventory first and we are shipping the next day. So we give them a reason that they were expecting this to be delivered 1 month later, you get that like in 2 days. So people were more impressed about it, and then we've been in operation-wise, we've been trying to minimize make it as efficient as possible with the less people and cross-training and all these things like that. And then I'm running operations, so I'm checking like 3 different shipping rates to give the customer the best rate. Who doesn't like the lower shipping rate, right? Who doesn't like free shipping? So these kind of things that to find out you not just find out, you create your strengths. I think that's the key point here to be successful. So same thing goes with the dropshipping. I mean, we got to give them a reason to be successful. So I've been it's just not coming from just like sales side. It comes from your operation side as well. Because to run your business pretty well, you got to give them a reason to be successful, to give them a reason that they like us. You have to make sure that your operation is running smoothly, because you promise something, and if they don't get it, it's worse situation. So so like the case of like dropshipping, we also ship as fast as possible. I've been tweaking several times to make sure that our shipping rate can be adjustable to meet their needs, because they have a lot of our online retailers, they can charge much shipping either, and I have to make sure they can be returned, because returns big problem in online business. So sometimes I just take in those return costs myself. Sometimes I'm just trying to make sure they can try our product easily. That's why we have like a no minimum requirement, so that they can just simply buy sample at the wholesale price or the dropshipping price. So these kind of little things just keep adding up to give your business. But I think one advice I can give you is like, think about the rating. And if someone give you a rating, give the reason why they give you 5 stars. I think you can start from that question and start building your business from there. I think in any sales channel, if you understand how the sales channel works, I think that should be your key point question.
I agree. I mean, it's like, you are trying to make your customers' life easier, right? By giving them better rate, by creating simpler processes, by making it easy for them to do business with you, right? And then if you give them all those reasons, of course, they will have a lot of reasons to write a great review for you.
Right.
And I think that creates a great business as well. So I'm assuming, like, in order for you to run a good wholesaling dropshipping kind of a business, you must have to create a lot of processes within your business as well.
Mhm.
Can you share, maybe one or two examples of, what kind of process do you create just to make your life as business people easier? I mean, I want to ask you about your
Sure.
team as well. Is it only, you two, or are there other people helping you out? But, from a process perspective, what can others learn from you?
I mean, of course, you gotta have like you gotta start having like a shipping process, obviously, because dealing with the multiple channels, and also we are on multiple platforms in each channel. So, for example, for dropshipping, I'm on like 8 or 9 platforms, different platforms. So all those come from different places. One thing that I'm trying to better is like because I have a project management background, so process is kind of like it was my life. So I've been trying to streamline the business as much as possible because that's create the efficiency. So even though like those 8 or 9 different platforms for one sales channel, I've been trying to have like Shopify as our key points to manage inventory, because managing inventory is very, very important for us, because that's the promise that we got to keep up with the customers. So especially for the dropshippers, if someone places order, and if I don't have it, I'm in trouble. But when I'm having like 8 different sales platforms taking my inventory for their orders, there's a good chance that I'll be in trouble. So I have to build like safety stock for some sales channel that's not connected with the Shopify, because there's some big channels that's not connected to Shopify. So I have to have a separate process for that. So I have to have like a drop shipping process. And but the main thing is like when you create this process, when you try to streamline, IT is a backbone right now. You got to research IT more and more. Like these days are great because I mean there are so many apps, like so many key platforms like Shopify. They're using the app system. So keep building based on your need. You just got to continuously improve yourself. So you gotta save some time for your research and investment for those kind of things. So even though sometimes I had the experience, like sometimes like a while ago, like I had one problem that I wanted to fix. I was looking for the Shopify app. I couldn't find any app at the time, so well I couldn't do it. 6 months later, I went back there. I found a solution. So a lot of times, like when you like try there one time and if I couldn't find a solution, people give up, and then using that as an excuse not to go further from there. But one thing great about these days, like technology is going, getting developed fast, So even though it's not there, I'm sure somebody else will need it too.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
another key point was that when you're using this kind of system, go with the system that always develops. That's one thing I learned from like running business for the last 20 years. We try many different ways, but like when you're running the business, POS was our key system. And sometimes we try in-house, sometimes we use some other products, and eventually we ended with the Shopify. But it's so when you're using this, make sure that's always developing, because right now you may be on top of everything. In 1 year, if the platform's not developed, you are behind. So that's the one key point that I'm looking at when I'm trying to look at the process and the platform, because my process is based on the IT and those platforms that I'm using.
Yeah, and I think Shopify is definitely providing so much value to e-commerce entrepreneurs just because of the fact that they have so many integrations and simple ways of creating processes without having to develop your own things. So I think Shopify actually does make a entrepreneur's job very easy. So no, that's great advice. So you are selling through different wholesale platforms and drop shipping platforms. Are you also on other sales channels, like just for consumers, like Amazon or any of those like eBay, Etsy kind of platforms as well, to sell directly to consumers?
Yes, you can take on another session if you want to talk about that, Amazon and eBay and all that. Yeah, we were like while we are running the retail stores, brick and mortar stores. Yeah, I've been Amazon seller for like 20 years actually, but because we were even had like Amazon, Etsy, what else? It's like eBay. We all had accounts there one time. Still have some actually at this moment, but it was the matter of focus at the time, because when you're running 10 retail stores, you just focus. And then compared to the volume that we are running at the time from the stores, it was not that much at the time, and then it took quite a time to develop there too. And then another thing about technology is good that it's keep developing. While watching Amazon for the last 20 years, when those kind of channels get developed, you gotta catch as well. You gotta develop yourself as well. I think that's one thing that we got caught up there. And then right now we are trying to get back to there a little bit more, but I don't think we are getting back to Amazon, but we wanted to test out some new rising channels, emerging channels, than just old channels. That's our strategy at this moment for the future.
Definitely. I mean, now it's like the two new ones are Shein and Temu, right? The Chinese ones. And it's almost, it seems like, for the first time, Amazon has a challenge.
Right.
What do you think about Shein and Temu? Do you see that as competition? Do you see that something an opportunity to take advantage of, or do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's just hard to say at this moment to Tertius, but it can be both, I believe. It can be threat, it can be opportunities. It really depends upon how you are structured. So you're always thinking like just when you're looking at something, we just try to evaluate. But situation that you have, like business, the structure, how you're running or how your product is, depending upon that, it can be threat or it can be opportunities. So I think it's really up to us how we want to proceed with that. Also, of course, like, they have to, to be an opportunity. Yeah, it's not just from our side; it's from their side as well. But to U.S. economic country as well. Obviously, it may help out the inflation problem because it's lowering down the price. However, it's definitely the threat to the small business. But I think we have to understand that all the small business or like any companies or any entrepreneurs is met with challenges. There is always some kind of challenges. So it may be Temu or it may be Shein this time. It was Amazon before, to Tertius. Still as a wholesale business, we don't do Amazon. One of the reasons we don't do Amazon right now is because we try to support our wholesale business. Because we need to provide product which is not on Amazon to our retail customers. So just evaluate yourself, structure yourself, your business.
And also like product wise and brand wise, I think I can definitely just do my best to make differences. Just the products that customers can buy from Temu or Shein. I just really try to step up on my own game to have just not like too common designs, just my own some special designs as well. It maybe looks kind of like not too much different, but like all the details and then the quality, packaging, and also, the shipping, everything, that we just, do our best to step up on our own games.
One thing funny is like when you just first started thinking about having one brand while we are running the retail stores, that's because of Amazon. Because while we are running the Amazon stores at the time, I kind of noticed that like even in Amazon, they need to have a brand, because about 15 years ago, when we started Amazon, we were doing pretty well in the beginning, because we were, at the time, brand was not important in Amazon. We were selling somebody else's product who did some of the brand's product that we were carrying in the store. So like at the time, we did pretty good in the beginning. And then I started noticing like there was more brands actually coming into Amazon. So eventually we felt like to succeed in any sales channel, it didn't matter that we need to have our brand. So that was the idea in the beginning, that we need to have a brand name and that we need to start having our own product that can separate ourselves. But it's just, like I said, it was evolving process, not just happened one time. So just keep looking the next step, simply.
Yeah, I mean, brand building is definitely a way to differentiate yourself, right? Because a brand is really what is the extra value that you're providing to the customer, and that is really a differentiator, because somebody could really like doing business with you because you're easy to do business with, and then you are a little bit safer from just like a commodity perspective. But I think like for small businesses, all these platforms, I feel like, when I talk to all the different business people, is small businesses are the ones that kind of suffer the most, because, if they go to Amazon or one of these platforms to sell, like they take away so much of the margin and fees and so forth, that, even if they're selling it, of course, they get some distribution, but, at the end of the day, they're not making a lot of money from there. So it's kind of a catch-22. It's a necessary evil, at least in the beginning, to get people to see your products. But, of course, Amazon and other players, they're setting the rules and they're taking away so much fees away from you. So it's a tricky situation.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you about your team. Are you, do you have a team of people, and or is it mostly, both of you kind of managing the business?
We definitely have a team.
Okay.
It's a small team, but very efficient and productive. So I have one just admin assistant. So she helps, some different sales channels, like things like that, and some trend research when I do, just develop some new products and stuff. And then Josh has his like picking and packing, shipping team. You have 3 team members other than Sydney?
Yeah, we have 4 shipping people right now. We have a warehouse in Florida, Georgia. So we are actually running the warehouse operation. So we have some people working the warehouse as well.
Very nice. I'm very curious. I mean, given that you had 10 retail stores, do you enjoy the e-commerce business model more, or do you miss having those retail stores?
I just, love my life now, but I also just really enjoyed and then loved like running different locations. And I was a lot younger by that time, and then, I was so energetic. So I was driving different locations and then meeting up with my, managers and customers and employees, and doing all these window displays, like, beautifully, like using my creativity and everything, and also the buying, just process, like going to different trade shows and stuff. So I love both, but I think for now, I just love this simple operation, just type of business right now, because we just have one, like just some space, office, and warehouse. That's it. And then just a small team. It's like less communication, and then it's just I think it's a really enjoyable, just working environment wise, and then just everything is online, and it's definitely more efficient and productive.
For sure, for sure. Probably miss some of your interactions, directly with customers and so forth. But what is
Yeah, that's true too.
yeah. What is the future vision for your business? Like, do you want to continue building and scaling? Where do you see yourself, like, let's say 5 years down the road?
Yeah, for now, I would say multi-brands. So now I run kind of like a mid-ish, the brand Ellison Young, more affordable, but like with good quality, but it's not too low, either. But since, I'm a businesswoman, and then I have my know-hows about like, how to brand it, branding, and also like, how to develop the products, and just, productions and all this, like also marketing and everything, the know-how that I already built. So I just want to utilize all these, my experiences again for the future. So I think a multi-brands, that's definitely, I want to like, challenge myself to do. So currently I'm just, about to launch lab-grown diamond and solid gold brand. Fine jewelry brand called Amelia Green. So this is about to launch, and then just, in the future, I just want to just create more multi-brands to target different, markets.
Very interesting. I actually recently interviewed another entrepreneur who is doing really well. I think he's doing really, really well in lab-grown diamonds, jewelry.
Yes.
So yeah, it seems like it's there's a lot of opportunity in the like new, and I think the trends are moving. I'm curious to know how if you can share a little bit about your marketing, because to me it seems like, given that you're mostly wholesale and drop shipping, those you probably get views directly through those platforms because they have a lot of people, customers coming on those platforms. Do you do any marketing activities yourself to get your name out there?
Yeah, since we are mostly in the platform, we are doing advertisement in the platform if they offer, and it really depending upon what platform offers. One thing that we are trying to make sure is that we get the right return for our marketing is. To do that, I figured out that we got to know what platform is trying to do. That's one thing I learned while we were in the Amazon business. That's one thing that we didn't do a good job. So I was trying to learn from our failure there. So when you first try it in like new wholesale platforms, when they first popping up, we were jumping in there. And then we're, like I said, we want to be in the platform that's continuously developing. What that means is they're going to have something new. They're going to have new ideas. So we are trying to target their new ideas and new pushes that they want to, the new directions they want to get to. So on each time, that's one thing that we're trying to do our best. So if they develop like an email system in the platform, we're going to jump right in. So we are, and then if they're trying to add like a new, for example, like email, when they were trying to do just add the emails marketing in the platform, we did our research and added 8,000 customers there. So we are trying to maximize what they offer instead of like just relying on our ideas and relying on our money. Yeah. So these days is, I think, one of the biggest problem of our marketing is the ROI, and it's just too competitive. Yeah. So to just try to find our niche, but our niche is not only based on us. Of course, there has to be something about us, but also about the platform. I think that's one important thing about the platform business. For sure. In every entrepreneur's journey, there's always mistakes made, lessons learned, failures. Right. I mean, you've been running business for a long, long time, but
thinking about your e-commerce business itself, does any big mistake come to mind or failure that, you were like, I could have done without it, but what is the lesson that you learned, and what can other entrepreneurs learn from your mistakes?
I mean, to tell the truth, learning business for 20 years, there are too many mistakes. That's the bigger problem. One thing was like we didn't catch on time, like on Amazon, when Amazon, because we were one of the earlier ones that like, because we started like 15 years ago. So if we had focused on Amazon business and trying to do what we are doing right now at the time, I'm sure we probably still running like pretty big in Amazon at the time. So that's the one thing that we learned, that we fixed ourselves when you're trying to do wholesale platform business here. So that's the lesson learned. I was there. So we were actually focusing on there. One of the biggest issue when you have like too many things going on, so when you're running 10 stores, you can focus on one thing. And then the mistakes that we did was we were focusing on our retail business too much, that we didn't have any room to develop any new. Because these wholesale ideas, like we had this idea many years ago, even while we are running the retail business, but we are always occupied. We are always like too many things going on. There's always something going on that I have to fix right away. Fixing right away is great because you got to fix no matter what, but sometimes they can be a problem for the future. So strongly suggest that you got to have some room in yourself, especially when you're running your own. You're gonna be knocked out pretty fast. You're gonna be tired pretty fast. More importantly, you may lose your interest in business
And motivation.
and the motivation. So managing that is not easy. And then I think we didn't do a good job sometimes, because when you're growing too fast, because it started overwhelming us, and we were just too busy managing, too busy driving around to the different places, just like that. That was one of the reasons that we actually gave up our retail e-commerce business, because we were doing pretty well. Well, because while we are running the retail stores, we started our Instagram accounts, we started our website business. We were getting to the level of about one Christmas we made about 50K just from this channel, which is not bad for an online channel. And then we had as many as 50,000 followers in Instagram accounts, because we were adding them for 10 years. Because from our stores, those are organic followers, not we didn't pay any of them except for the those kind of like events in the stores and like that, events for promotion. So the main reason that we gave up, even though it was okay, it was we were tired. So I think that's one thing very important for yourself. Like if you're running the business for a long time, make sure you're refreshed, recharge it, so that you don't lose your interest. Because if you lose that, it's no more fun.
Yeah, that is so important. And business is like, you are growing yourself as the business is growing. And I think maybe it's really delegation, right? So it's like you can only do so much, and as you're growing, I guess you have to find other people who can like take over social media or those kind of things, I guess. Now I'm going to move on to our rapid fire segment. In this segment, I'm going to ask you a few quick questions. You have to answer them in like a word or a sentence or so. So the first one is, one book recommendation for entrepreneurs, and why?
It's a really old book, but it's called Your Best Life Now by Joel Osteen. I read it like more than 20 times. I think a business is all about lifestyle. It cannot be like just your work, to be an entrepreneur. You just have to change the attitude towards your life. So that's why.
For sure, yeah. I mean, Joel Osteen definitely has some great insights. I mean, he's an entrepreneur in his own right.
That's true.
An innovative product or idea in the current e-commerce, retail, or tech landscape that you feel excited about?
I ought to say ChatGPT.
Okay. Of course. a business or productivity tool or software that you would recommend, or a productivity tip?
I use Shopify as my just really like for my productivity. I have my own like ways to organize, multiple SKUs and what to reorder and what's new and things like that. So I would say Shopify.
Okay. Another startup or business in e-commerce, retail, or tech that you think is currently doing great things?
Mhm. I
Another
think
startup or business. Yeah. Any business that you like, any products that you enjoy, like any brands that you think is
I
doing
like
like
to
good.
buy.
Yeah.
There are like, a few different ones, but recently, I'm so into like diamonds and fine jewelry. So I would say like Ideal. I found that brand recently and I think they are really good.
Ideal.
IDYL.
IDY. Okay. Very interesting. I'm going to check them out.
Yes.
A peer entrepreneur or business person whom you look up to, or someone who inspires you?
For me, Josh inspires me every day.
Okay.
And
Great
of
answer.
course, our great designers like Chanel. I love her, like, just her passion and philosophy towards to fashion. So, yeah.
Awesome. And final question, and I'll have you both answer this one. The best business advice that you ever received or you would give to other entrepreneurs?
Okay, my definition of the business is continuous like a phenomenon of success and failure.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say like, do not be afraid too much to make decisions. I just, always see better decisions are better than no decisions. And then, if you fail because of that decision, just, take lessons and keep going.
Great advice. Great advice. And from you, Josh?
Yeah, from my finance background, yeah, do your calculated risk. I mean, there are certain risks that you can take that's not going to screw you up. So do just take your calculated risk, because if you think like 2 or 3 times, you're going to know how much risk you are taking already. If you can take, why not?
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And I think both of your advice kind of goes hand in hand. Like, you have to take action, but you also have to calculate the risk. Like, you don't want to kill yourself. There's always going to be some risk, but move forward with calculated risk. So that's great. Well, Young and Josh, thank you so much for joining me today. Those were all the questions that I had. If somebody wants to purchase your products or get in touch with the business, what's the best way to do that?
EllisonYoung.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Young and Kim, for joining me today at TrepTalks, for sharing your story and for helping a new generation of entrepreneurs. So thanks again, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much.